Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
Terror attacks in this country have fortunately been rare. Even more rare, a terror attack in which the weapon is a car bomb.
But that is what the FBI is investigating right now. The late Saturday morning car bombing outside a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California.
The only person killed was a suspected bomber. At least 4 other people were injured. But judging by the size of the explosion, it could have been much worse.
As for the motive, investigators say the suspect appeared to be against procreation. They say his target was a clinic that helped people achieve their dreams of having children.
A source tells CBS News that in an angry set of writings believed to be that of the suspects, he talked about wanting to live stream his suicide and the bombing. Jonathan Vigliotti is in Palm Springs tonight. Jonathan.
Maria, a good evening to you. It's been 2 days since this attack and still many questions remain, including what kind of device was used, where did the materials come from, and how was it constructed? We've learned it was a chemical mixture, and the blast was so powerful it caused damage for several blocks. In the aftermath of the explosion outside a Palm Springs fertility clinic, what continues to stun investigators is the sheer size of the blast. Akil Davis is with the FBI.
This is probably the largest bombing scene that we've had in Southern California.
The impact of the car bomb could be felt miles away. Destruction was visible for over 100 yards in all directions. The suspect, 25-year-old Guy Edward Barkis, was killed in the explosion. A law enforcement official tells CBS News that investigators have found bomb-making materials inside the suspect's home in the community of 29 Palms. That's an hour's drive from the Palm Springs clinic. They're also digging through his computers, phones, and online records.
We are treating this as an intentional act of terrorism. We are tracking a possible manifesto out there. The subject had nihilistic ideations, and this was a targeted attack against the IVF facility.
Given the size of the explosion, investigators say this could have been catastrophic. On Saturday, the clinic was closed, but all the embryos were saved.
We were like, okay, well, if we don't do anything, the bad guy wins.
Palm Springs Deputy Fire Chief Greg Lyle and an FBI agent ran into the clinic, helped restore the power, then salvaged thousands of medical records. You had no idea who you were helping. Yeah. You were just triggered to act.
Right. I got a text from one of our fire personnel, and he said thank you. You know, it was his family, his wife that was supposed to go in for an appointment this week, and his embryos were in the office.
Jonathan, this attack happened on Saturday when the clinic was closed. What do we know about the timing and why on this particular day?
Yeah, John, it's a good question. The FBI, we have learned, is investigating several theories. The main theory that this was a suicide bombing meant to be live streamed. The second theory here is that the suspect intended on planting this bomb only for it to be detonated days later at another time. Regardless of the scenario, it speaks to a level of radicalization that is very rare and uncommon here in the U.S., John.
And Jonathan, do we have any idea why the attacker chose this particular location? And might there have been other plans for other attacks here?
Yeah, that is still a critical question, why the attacker chose this location and if the bomb materials that were found at his home were intended for another target. Officials tell us as the investigation continues, the threat here has been contained.
Okay, Jonathan Vigliotti in Palm Springs tonight. Thank you.